I know. Where you been, D? I'm here. I'm hither. Y'all already know what it is. Hey, winners. It's Dr. DDB, your elite MD. Winners win. We are winning. What happened in November? What happened? Right? So, I know y'all saw me all over the place, but let me break it down. So, let's start at the beginning. So, in months back, I decided that in November I was going to do 21 days because a counterpart of mine was blossoming their family, and I was like, okay, I'll just pick up their week, which put me at 21 days of work with just a short stint off with another 4 days because Thanksgiving, and I was going to be off for Thanksgiving this year, which I was very excited about. So I was like, man, 25 days of work, so 21 altogether. So initially I was like, I'm being a team player, and then I was like, oh, we can make some financial goals, just kind of obliviate and check those boxes. But at the end of the day, it was just like, can you do it? Can you do it without complaining? Can you do it without it being the topic of your conversation every single day? Can you do it without moaning and grumbling? Can you do it with joy? Can you do 21 days of work without 21 days of work being the factor? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you just work and enjoy what you're doing for people? Can you do that, D? So when my husband brought it up, like, you ready for these 21 days? I was like, yeah, and I'm like freaking out. And then finally it settled in my spirit that, like, listen, I want you to talk about it. And I said, God, I'm not going to talk about it. So when it started, I was like, okay, I'm doing 21 days. What is going to get me through these 21 days? And that's when I came up with document it. I say, well, document what? Consistency. Document consistency. Yes, for 21 days, I want you to see how many of those days you can stay in the groove of multiple things. And I want you to document it and put it somewhere. You know what I mean? And it's not because of responses. It was, can you be held accountable to your word, to yourself? So that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to start. And y'all know I only got 17 days on there. Okay, I did. Because when I started, I didn't really know what to document. You know what I'm saying? So I have some videos like on the first couple days. And then finally, like on that, after I got like, a couple of videos in, I was like, I don't like that or whatever. Then I finally got in the groove of day one. And then that thing just started coming. So I came up with what you saw on TikTok. I recorded the screen when I was giving God my first. Working up at 3 p.m. is like waking up at 3 a.m., for night shift. So I screen recorded, so you can see that the Bible was the first thing that I was opening up, sharing God's word. And then the second thing I was doing, which you guys didn't get to see, but I'm in this group called Elitely Becoming, and we would check our blood sugars, and we're eating healthy. So that's the second thing I would do. And then I would get into my workouts. As you see me, they were, a vast array. And then my eating, I stayed consistent with eating, nutritious meals. And then I went to work. That you saw, as best you could. And then when I got off in the morning time, I went walking like you saw me doing. And then I did it all over again. And I did that part for 17 days. And then I decided to put it on TikTok and Facebook. So just to let you know, I did 17 days of consistency of that, with the goal in mind of how many of these days can you do without, murmuring and complaining. And so I was just very proud of myself, and I want you to be proud of yourself, to hold yourself accountable. And that's what I use social media for, TikTok and Facebook. to kind of help me in those areas. So thank y'all so much for following. I got a lot of, questions, and I got a lot of people that jumped in and said, hey, I just got to start, and doing their workouts and things like that. So what else happened in November? So somebody asked me this question. I just wanted to answer it with you guys. Was what motivated you to just keep going? Like, where did you get your motivation from? And they're not talking about these 21 days. They're not talking about these 25 out of 30 days. They're talking about this grind of moving through understanding RN to the question mark of MD. And then all of the obstacles and the frustrations and the letdowns and the things that came along with it not being a mapped out path. And my answer for that person was life. Sometimes life has a way of keeping you motivated by creating situations that make you push. One of those things for me was my baby sister. I talk about it all the time. And then the second thing for me was life wasn't really handing me a deck of cards that I feel like was going to get me the win. I didn't have that win in hand. So I had to create it. And then I believe the third thing for me was my nephew being born at the same time that I would lose my dad. And I think at that time, I knew that I was not going to live life hoping and wishing things would come true, that I was going to trust God that they would. And so that fire inside of me, because my sister was behind me, my nephew was behind me, that I knew that these cards wasn't going to give me what I wanted, and I had to kind of finagle some things to make it a winning hand. And having the support and understanding of my mother, and then people just started coming into that group of people, my friends in Alaska, people I was working with, all of these things just started playing into a factor. The prayers of people, angels that was coming to my rescue, all these things just started keeping the motivation going despite what I was seeing every day. And then at the end of it all, guys, like, I'm here. Sometimes you're not going to know the end result. You just got to keep taking the next steps, and I encourage you to do that. So that's one of the conversations that I had, that somebody asked me, what else happened in November that I wanted you to have a sweet message about. Was I enjoyed the month of November because, I don't know, like all of the giving, we had some fantastic times at work. We did food around the world, so everybody brought a dish in. I fed folks. We did pizza night, and then we also did Thanksgiving. Me and my husband, we cooked and we brought Thanksgiving food up there. So just the giving part of it. But you know what I also love is that people fed into me as well. So knowing that I got into a situation where change is like one of those things. I just want you to know you can be outvoted for stuff, okay? Just know your opinion and what you feel like is right. It ain't always gonna fly everywhere. Even though you've done the research and you've checked all your boxes and you feel like how I present this, everybody should agree. It does not work that way. So despite, your frustrations about all of the work that you've done for this to make sense for everybody else, sometimes it just does not fly. And I had to learn that lesson this month. Like, even though it made sense to me for something that was going on in my work group, I was outvoted. And at some point in time, I had to realize you've been outvoted, and it's okay. It's okay. But it doesn't mean that, everybody's going to respond the same. So I'm a little emotional. So it got me in my feelings, and I was kind of a little hurt about some things, but then the camaraderie of the people around me to just let me know that, you know, we're supporting you. We understand where you're coming from. You know, it just was very valuable to me. So, just those little tidbits of like flowers and love and hugs and just, little things that make people feel appreciated, I really enjoyed in the month of November. Down to the point to where my nurses was just like, what day is this for you? They were like, I left, I came back, I left again and came back, and you still here. So just for them to acknowledge and just kind of kid around, just to know that they knew I was putting in some work, and just was super supportive. It was really nice. Another thing I wanted to just update you about, I ain't gonna keep you too much longer, was God made that thing like ease. You know what I'm saying? Not easy, but whatever came my way, it's like he was 2 steps ahead of me on how to get solutions, or how to handle the quantity of, you know, whatever I was dealing with, and me still give out quality. So I got some hand claps from people I was serving in the community, which was really, really exquisite as well, you guys. To know that you're making a difference, it means the world. So people stopped me and was like, you, Dr. Baker, you took care of my dad last year, you know, and then somebody said, hey, listen, when my loved one passed, man, you were so compassionate. You know, just these simple things. And then we have somebody that's really dear to us that broke their hip, and, you know, we were going out to just support them, and just knowing that the family appreciated it. So just outflow of love was also an inflow of love. And my squad has stayed near and dear to me. I cannot thank Elitely Becoming enough for just being consistent with their own goals, so that I had somewhere to be accountable at, which I really deeply, truly enjoy. And y'all, the main thing was, there was a lot of brainstorming about how to continue to achieve elite level things for the Elite MD magazine and I Am So You Can. There's just so many things to come. So I've upgraded some things, you know, I got some more storage. So all these things are just working out. And I'm truly, truly enjoying what I'm doing as a physician, as a mentor. Like, there's so many opportunities that's inviting themselves for me to just be readily available to the purpose that God has on me. So I'm really excited about these things. So that's what was happening in November. But let me leave you with this one thing, and always make this one thing the main thing. You always want to be the person that somebody can call when they're in the bind and they say, I need prayer. So just by me putting out on TikTok and Facebook my consistency, somewhere, shape, or form, God correlated that into, this is somebody that you can say, I need prayer, or I need faith to get through this thing. And for God to say, I know somebody who's on the main line. Call them up and ask, right? And they will join forces. And even if they don't know what to pray, they know how to pray. So I want you to remember, man, we are light. Darkness has to flee. We are positive. People are the prize. Remember that this time is short that we're sharing together. We are precious, and we are so valued. But most of all, we are elite, and we are winning. And I don't ever want you to doubt that for one moment, okay? So just know that everything is happening for its reason, for its space, for its time. But when you know that you are tied into you and your accountability and what you're doing, God will send you people to help move in the right direction, and that's towards Him, okay? I just want you to know I couldn't have done it without Him. That's why I'm talking so much about Him. So I appreciate the month of November. Them 20 whatever days, 25 days out of 30. I think I started October 28th, so the days are maybe a little bit off. But the days that I did get to rest, y'all, I rested. So this video is late. Forgive me. But it's definitely a video that's necessary, okay? I want you to remember one thing. You win. Ha! This is your Dr. DDB, also known as the Elite MD. Winners win. We winning. All right. Bye, y'all.